Hey guys, I'm Magemater, and I'm going to be talking about why I think you should play Path of Fire. Path of Fire is the new expansion for Guild Wars 2, and if you're watching this video you probably already either play, trying to decide if you want to play, or you used to play Guild Wars 2 and are wondering if it's worth coming back. So let's start with you already play. Like me, you have the core game and first expansion. Honestly, you might as well stop watching now. Like me, you don't need me to tell you why you need to get Path of Fire, you probably have already bought it. You're excited to explore the new maps, learn all the new elites, ride mounts and see where the storyline takes us next. But what if you're thinking about starting to play Guild Wars 2 from fresh? What makes it better than all the other games out there? Obviously it's a beautiful game with cleverly written storylines, cool characters to build and a fun combat system. But lots of games out there can boast of these qualities. We invest a lot of time into our MMOs. Why should you choose Guild Wars 2 over any of the others? Firstly, and you'll hear this a lot because it's such a valid point, it's subscription free and you can buy store items with the gold you make in game. Every other game out there that comes anywhere near to the same quality of gameplay are either subscription based, which means you can't play for them once you stop handing over your cash, or are pay to win. Some even employ all three models to grab your money, so you have to buy the game, pay a subscription, and then need to buy even more things in the store with cash from your real world bank account. Yes, Guild Wars 2 has a store, but it's mostly cosmetic and quality of life type stuff. Plus, everything without any exceptions can be bought from gold you earn playing the game. You can transfer it to gems, which is the game's store currency, and spend them as if you had bought them for real world cash. Most other games will only allow this transaction to be made the other way around so that players can boost their in-game wealth by handing over yet more money. The way we play and level in Guild Wars is just better than everything else out there. I have played lots of online games and consistently my gameplay is talk to an NPC, kill X number of mobs and either return to or find a different NPC to get a reward. In a game's introduction, those NPCs are close by and the mob count is few, but as you progress in level, the distance you need to travel and the number of mobs always increase until questing becomes either time spent in travel or endlessly killing the same type of monster over and over again. We have dynamic events that happen at different times in a map. Some of them won't even spawn until chains of these events have been completed, but better than that, those events scale in difficulty compared to how many people are in the area taking part. We have storylines that you follow through the maps, which is the closest thing you have to a quest log. Instead, all around the world there are little hearts, which are like quests. Each heart has different objectives linked to it, so you have more than one option to obtain its reward. And the most perfect thing, if you wanted, you could be in the middle of completing every single heart quest the game has to offer. There is no quest log full notice. How many times have you had to complete something you started earlier first, or worse, delete the progress you had made because you couldn't find it again, all because of an evil quest log restriction? Your progress as you travel around the world is saved, so even if you don't return to a heart until years later, it will still be waiting there for you to just finish off. Go back to that area? Why would I go back to an earlier area of a game once I have leveled past it? Unless I want to annoy noobs, kill stealing their monsters just for fun because I can. It's not like it would benefit me as I won't get any XP and they won't drop anything at my level anyway. All those points are valid in just about every other game, and unfortunately those kill stealing just to annoy you players also do exist within them. Not in Guild Wars 2, as the level we are is also dynamic. We may be a level 80 in an ascended gear, capable of running the most complicated raids, but if you walk into a lower level area, your level is scaled down to match it. You're still fractionally better than when you were actually that level. You have more skills at your disposal for a start, but you're not going to start one-shotting bosses, which means all of the content is always relevant to you. It also means you can play with your friends that have just started and enjoy the game as much as they are. If you're just starting out, you won't be surrounded by a bunch of players who also have no clue what they are doing. We go back to those areas, sometimes for map completion, sometimes because we need to do certain events for unlocking our legendary weapons, or some of those lower maps contain world bosses that can be just as beneficial for us to kill as you as a new player. The experience you get is also scaled to your level, so a level 80 and a level 10 won't get the same amount of XP per kill or chop or whatever you did to earn that experience. Instead, you get a percentage of whatever level you are, so it's always worth your time. Another reason we don't have kill stealers is there is no kill to steal. If you're killing a monster and I come along and start killing it too, we both get loot. It doesn't even matter if I outdamaged you. We won't get the same, as it will be randomly generated, which angers a few players, but it will be fair. So instead of trying to find a quiet area of the game so you can get your quest objective completed, you're actually pleased to be around other players, as it normally means you'll complete whatever your aim was more quickly. Guild Wars 2 can be so many things at the same time. If you like killing other players, you can do that. If you like big server-on-server battles, you can do that. If you like questing, crafting, gathering, exploring, collecting every possible achievement or unlocking every possible skin, you can do all that. And you can do any of them, whenever you want to do them, within one game. Some of those things may require the participation of others, but between the looking for a group tool, being allowed to be active in 5 guilds consecutively, and just simply using map chat in the general area of whatever you're trying to do, you will almost always find some willing participants. The way we customise our characters is completely up to us. If we want to explore the crafting system, we can, but if we don't want to, we won't be punished for it. There is almost more than one viable option to get whatever we desire. How our armour looks is also up to us. Obviously, the more we explore the game, the more we can choose from. We have a pool of everything we have previously found before, and we can mix and match them as we please. For this reason, not many of us look the same, and we are not tied to looking a certain way because we have reached a certain level or want that certain ability. Guild Wars is one of the best communities I have ever played amongst. In the most part, players are very helpful and always welcoming of new players. Thanks to our free-to-play chat restrictions, we don't get much map trash chat. Outside the game, however, is where I believe the game's community really shines. With the help of many dedicated fans, there is so much knowledge freely available and easy to understand. You will be hard pushed to find something that you can't do, that there isn't a guide to show you how you can. Also, one of our greatest resources of knowledge, and one of your best friends in Guild Wars, is our Guild Wiki. You can even access it straight from within the game by typing a simple command into your chat box. If you have never played an online game, then I can understand why you might be put off, but if you are tempted to dip your toe in, this is a great game to start with. If you are already a keen online gamer, then I really can't see what's keeping you playing your other game, as every other game I have played has failed when I compared it to Guild Wars 2. We don't have 2 hours of downtime followed by watching 1 hour of a long patching screen once a week, just to get in game and find nothing different anyway. Guild Wars 2 patches anything new as you log in, and I have never waited longer than 10 minutes to get in and play, and that was only when we had something big being added. Okay, so you're tempted, but what will it cost? You can play it for free, but in all honesty, if you really like it, you are going to want to buy the game, as some of the restrictions and the fact that you can't play it fully will annoy you in the end, especially as you'll be playing amongst others that are not restricted and can do those things that you can't. Playing for free is definitely a fantastic way to try out the game. I myself am currently trying this out and will be uploading a video seeing if it's viable to play for free. You can buy Path of Fire for £25. This will get you the core game fully unlocked from restrictions and the new expansion when it goes live in September. Currently you can pay just £42.99 and get both expansions and the core game, and for another £25 you can also unlock all of the past Live and World content, so everything will be open for you. So for £68 you can basically unlock the game in its entirety. That isn't even 6 months subscription for some of the other games out there. It's also about the same price as the takeaway we ordered last weekend, which although was delicious, is now gone forever. This is your content, you can play as much or as little as you choose, forever. Plus, as long as you are playing, you will also have the full Living World seasons added to your game completely free. New missions, maps, content to explore every few months. So what if you already know all this? You played Guild Wars, you got excited about Guild Wars 2, and then for whatever reason you stopped playing. I fall into this camp. I started playing Guild Wars with Nightfall, liked it, and bought the core game and faction shortly after. As with most MMOs, the community is a massive part of your gameplay, but being quite new to online games, I didn't really connect with anyone, and the game lost interest for me after the story missions were done. I returned a year later as the Hyper-Vi of the North was being announced. This time round, I joined a new guild and realised how much more fun games can be as a shared experience. I only got more hype for Guild Wars 2 as my legacy in the Hall of Monuments grew. After reaching the arduous title of Champion of the Gods and getting my god walking amongst mere mortals, I knew nothing was going to stop me from buying Guild Wars 2 as soon as it was on the market. So in 2012, when it was released, I was eagerly ready for the challenge. I had my knowledge of ANET's gift system, so this time round I bought extra slots, and within 1 month of release I had one of each of the 8 classes. It was exciting learning a new game, but that's exactly what it was, a new game. My legacy, as it turned out, amounted to very little, a few skins, pets and titles, so don't worry if you didn't achieve any of this. I couldn't play a ritualist, which was my main in Guild Wars. Also, the classes that had remained didn't work in the same way. Our heroes were gone, and so was a lot of the community that I'd found in Guild Wars. Lots had started new guilds, all were on different servers, and out of the ones that had remained, we progressed at different rates, and sadly, not long after reaching level 80 I got bored, and life and other games dragged me further and further away from wanting to log in anymore. I wasn't even aware of the 2015 expansion of Heart of Thorns until I returned in the summer of 2016. The best way I can sum up is to say that if playing Guild Wars 2 was the equivalent of visiting a different planet from Guild Wars back at release, now it would be like visiting a new universe with Path of Fire. The ways that game exploration is already better with us being able to glide from the Heart of Thorns expansion is only going to be quantified with the introduction of mounts. We only got to go on one of them during the preview weekend, and that alone would sell it to me. We know there are going to be at least another 3. Surely the possibilities of there being even more added in the future is not that unlikely. The Live and World updates provide us with countless more hours of storylines and new maps to explore, and they are being dropped into the game every few months. I am not going to lie, old content is going to require more of your cold hard cash to open up if you are returning to the game, which I did find kind of annoyed me a bit upon returning. The game I had paid full price for was now being given out for free, and yet they wanted me to pay even more money to open up stuff they had released since. It does, however, give you a sense of reward for your loyalty in playing, that this content is released completely free for those that are playing the game at the time that they are released. So while I had to pay to catch up on Season 2 updates, as they released Season 3 they were open to me completely free of charge. There is also so much more to do past level 80 now. Fractals and raids are providing higher tier grouping content, and HOT maps provide huge map-wide dynamic events. Yes, there is also world versus world and player versus player, but because I don't really partake much in either, I'm the wrong source of information about either of those. I do know, however, they have both had huge updates in the short time I have been back, so they will definitely be different from anything you've experienced before. There is also an account-wide mastery system, so although the maximum level of any character is still always going to be level 80, the ways that you can progress your gameplay vary even more depending on what masteries you choose to explore. That mastery level is also displayed on your character, so it's like a level system after maxing a level system. We have a new class, so now 9 initially to choose from. Each of those have an elite skill to obtain with the Heart of Thorns expansion, which changes their playstyle further, and another elite skill will be learned in Path of Fire, which will evolve our characters once again. Learning the new skill essentially unlocks a new class. The combat systems for some of them are poles apart. For example, playing as a druid is a huge difference from playing as a ranger. From the glimpses we have seen of the new Path of Fire skills, the changes are going to be even more diverse, which essentially means we don't have 9 or 18, but 27 classes to choose between. Add to that the way that we play the game changes even further depending on what weapon we are choosing to equip, the possibilities are far greater than my brain's mathematical capabilities. Nothing is going to convince you more than seeing for yourself. If you already have Guild Wars 2, log back in and give it another go with fresh eyes. If nothing else, you're getting close to your 5th birthday present, so it won't hurt to log in and receive it. And if you never even gave it a chance at release, now is the perfect time to go and have a go, as the core game is now available with a few restrictions as a free-to-play model. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me ramble on, and I really do hope that I see some of you in game soon. Take care.